everybody, you're watching The Screw with Felicia Rose. I am Felicia Rose, and today I want to talk to you guys about a series of things all aimed at bringing sex positivity into your life. What do I mean by that? I mean that I want to make sure that the girl at home that doesn't have an outlet for expressing her fetishes about weird foot porn that she's into has a place to go to feel a little bit more normal about herself. That's what I mean. So today's segments are going to include Felicia Rose Reacts, where I talk a bunch of crap about something that I feel strongly about, because that's all I give a shit about at the end of the day. Our next smegment, actually like that, don't edit that out. Our next schmegment is actually going to be Silver Bullet Club Corner, where I go over a sex toy that has been sent to me by one of my very good friends, Christina, who works for Athena's. Our next segment is going to be a wonderful interview that I have with Billy Procida. If you don't know who that is, definitely check him out online. He is the host of the ManWhore Podcast. He's a stand-up comedian, and he's here to offer you guys a little bit of insight on the man behind the whore. Let's see who the bigger whore is at the end of the day. Which brings me to my final segment, where we're gonna go through a little quick game of Adult Never Have I Ever, and we're gonna check out who's the bigger whore, myself or Billy. We'll see. Hey everybody, today I have a special guest on today. I just said that. His name is Billy Procida, and he is here to discuss all sorts of topics, specifically his podcast, polyamory, and Craigslist, and how he utilizes that, because those are the things that I really want to talk to him about. So, welcome, Billy. Thank you.
Oh, hello, Felicia. What's up?
Thank you for being on my show today. I really appreciate it. I know you have like real things to do in life, so.
I got orgies to plan.
You
I
do?
am taking valuable time away from planning a gangbang for a cute co-ed on Reddit. And
I'm really sorry. So everybody out there, I'm super sorry that I am taking away time from your Billy from planning a gangbang.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
I'm prepped. I'm lubed up. I'm very wet right now. I'm excited.
He's wet.
I lube up for every interview. I never know what's going to happen.
I try to lube up too, but I think that's just with a lot of alcohol and weed, and then I just start to stammer, so I don't think it's the same thing. All right, so let's just get into your podcast in general. I want to know about what your podcast is about. I've listened to a little bit of it, not too much, but you claim your podcast is a sex-positive quest for love. What the does that mean?
Are we not allowed to swear?
Oh, we can swear. I just wanted to specify that, like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah.
Sure. Well, my show's called the ManWhore Podcast, a sex-positive quest for love. I do this show where I talk to women I've hooked up with about sex, dating, and why we didn't work out. Wait,
hold on. Why women you've hooked up with?
Because I had this really weird problem where women would sleep with me, but they wouldn't date me, and I wanted to find out why. So I thought, who better ask than the women who wouldn't love me back. So,
So this transformed into a podcast for you.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So I started having these conversations with these women from my sexual and romantic history, and they started telling me, like, yeah, like, I like fucking you, I like sitting on your face, but I don't want to go out to dinner with you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So have you learned a lot about yourself because you've been able to go back and interview people essentially you've hooked up with?
Yeah.
Which is not an experience, I'll say. Like, I don't have the experience essentially of either a one-time thing or a 7-time thing. A lot of times you don't get to go back and ask that person, hey, what did you like about this or whatnot? So do you find that having this podcast is helpful for you?
Yeah. I found out that I am slightly condescending and a bit of an asshole.
What do you mean by that? Like, is there anything that points out in your memory maybe recently where people were like, you're an asshole because XYZ?
I don't know. There's never really a specific thing. It's just all of it usually rounds up to, like, Billy, you lack empathy, and you're condescending, and you interrupt. And actually, now I don't know why anyone would date me. That's a good, who knows?
Do you think that there's a little bit of narcissism? So, like, when I first listened to your podcast years ago, I was like, he interviews people he has sex with. Now, I think that's funny in general. And you're also a stand-up comedian, which I shouldn't leave out, obviously. So I think
right, because how dare anyone who's not a comedian do such a thing?
But I honestly think in a way it's definitely funny, but it's also a little narcissistic to go back and be like, hey, how was it? But I also myself have been interested in doing that. I'm like, tell me a little review, 1 to 10, you know?
Well, you got to be a narcissist to be in the entertainment industry in the first place. For anyone to have a podcast, which we're in Brooklyn right now, pretty much, I'm surprised everyone here on this crew doesn't have their own podcast.
They do.
Right, but it's like to think that you're important enough that other people are going to listen to you about anything.
Which is actually
what we're doing right now.
That's
like,
a question I
this
have
is slightly
for you.
narcissistic.
Why do you think that you're important enough to talk about sex on camera, or not on camera, I'm sorry, on podcast platform? Why do you think you're important enough to give your 2 cents?
I don't think I'm important enough. I just think I've lived, I just think I'm really bad at dating enough for people to hear about it.
Let me stop you though. You have had a podcast for a substantial amount of time, and I will say the beginning of your podcast was a lot of, you know, hey, this is a girl I've banged, this is 2 girls I've banged, this is a couple of humans I've banged, whatever, and that's fine. But later it transformed into you're interviewing pretty important people. You're having what I would assume is what I would say is a sex positive conversation. Do you think it's transformed over time because of, do you think you've grown at all from this? Because I think you've grown, but you don't sound like you sound a little self-deprecating.
Yeah, because as soon as you're a guy on the internet with this face talking about sex.
What do you mean this face? Because
I have like all the best adjectives. Look at me. I'm straight. I'm white. I'm a man. I grew up. I have a college education. I'm crushing in the adjectives game. And then you're at all proud of yourself. You open yourself up to all sorts of criticism. I like to just maintain I'm a dog shit person. I am a garbage human. I like to keep the bar low enough I can trip over it. And then you know, I get yelled at just a little bit less. But the show has evolved, so now it's a combination. It's like half of my guests are past partners, and then the other half are sex educators, porn stars, sex workers, queer performers, comedians, dating experts.
Let me interrupt you. Was there any point throughout this that you were like, listen, I have this platform, people are listening to, is that what happened? You were like, I need to actually bring in some real fucking humans that have something substantial to say, aside from some girl being like, well, you didn't give me a reach around enough, or whatever it is, you know. Not that I've listened to every episode, but I'm just saying, like.
Oh, she totally has. She is a huge fan. See all these tattoos? There's a ManWhore Podcast tattoo right here. Y'all can't see because she never lifts her shirt.
If you paid for it, I would get it. I don't care. You described yourself as being a comedian with a fuck cast. So, as a sex-positive person on a quest for love, what do you really mean by that? Were you just being self-deprecating in that moment because things have been not so wonderful lately? Or are you honest when you say that? Because I really want to know, like, do you really not value yourself on a level where, like, a person like myself who comes to your podcast and listens to it and it's like, oh, he has, you know, a recent sex worker, he has maybe a past partner, fine, I'm a narcissist on that level, I get it. But also, like, do you really think that, is this just a platform for your stand-up? Like, what's good?
Well, I think, I don't want anyone to show up confused. I'm very clear, I am just a comedian with this sex show. So I don't want anyone to think I'm claiming to be a sex educator or a sex expert.
So you're not like a sexpert.
Right, because then people just start yelling at you when you're wrong.
I think I'm a sexpert or whatever.
Right.
I don't care if I won't take off my fucking shirt. Fuck you.
But not for nothing. It's like even my past partners, like they have their own experiences. They have their own stories. So I don't think I'm an expert on anything. I honestly think I just provide the space to, like, okay, let's have these conversations.
So you're creating a platform for essentially other conversations or whatever, something beyond you.
Sure, if one wants to call it that. I just think that we get to talk about some really interesting stuff that I don't think we talk about in this country. We don't talk about sex. We don't talk about sex ed. We don't talk about fetishes and kinks and sexual orientation and gender. So, I mean, granted, I don't always think about those things, but the people I talk to do. And it allows...
So by, like, talking to them and kind of opening your mind, you're spreading their knowledge and essentially creating a bigger safe space for sex positivity.
And for people to learn about stuff. I'm willing to be the idiot publicly that
the
you
dumb
are
questions.
in private. Yes.
Understood.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
America,
plenty...
I will be your idiot.
He's a pretty big fucking idiot. Yeah. No, but I agree. Like, there's so many kinks and so many fetishes and so many paraphilias that maybe I'll allude to, but I've never, ever participated in. And it's very hard as somebody who's so sex positive to speak on behalf of things where I'm like, I don't wear a gimp mask or, you know, whatever the fuck the fucking thing is. Sure. You know what I mean? So I understand where you're coming from, where you're like, I'm in the middle of this. I'm not necessarily on one side or the other. I'm sort of the middle ground for this conversation, which is good. It's
Yeah,
positive.
I like to think I'm like sex positive, like sex. If we're thinking about it as classes, I'm sex pos 101. If like you're new,
Okay.
I'm introductory
You're
level.
the jump off.
Right. A lot of my guests are like sex pos, feminism 301, 401, and sadly, America, as a country, we're not there yet. We are not ready to take a Kitty Striker class on feminism and privilege, but I can at least start bridging the
Which
gap
is nice
and bring you
because
along
in
the
a
way.
way you sort of, not to, please don't take this as
As a compliment?
but,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
don't
like,
take
God.
this as a compliment. No, but you sort of dumb it down in a way. Like you take their big words and you're like, what does that mean? Now you know what they mean typically, but
I read books. I'm a smart person.
No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying like you take what they're saying. You're saying like, listen, I have a wider audience that maybe doesn't know what you're talking about. So please explain it for those people. So I appreciate that myself. Like it's something where even things that I didn't know, I listened to your podcast and I was like, oh yeah, that's what the fuck that means. So thank you. I mean, you're a piece of shit, but other than
Thanks. Coming from a fellow piece of shit, I take it as a high compliment.
We're like brother sister piece of shits. It's totally fine.
Who kind of want to bang each other. It's cool.
We like kind of want to bang each other, but only if we do it on camera so that we get paid a substantial amount. Because obviously
We are total whores.
Yeah. I'm a narcissist too. I'm just totally poking fun at him because like for once the attention is off of me. So thank you. All right. So quick question about your guests. Now, obviously you've already alluded to the fact that you interview people you've had sex with, which by the way, good move. Kind of want to do that. Anybody out there who's fucked me, good experience or bad, please come on the show. I would
Especially
love
the
to
bad
interview your
ones.
ass.
That's what we want
Oh my
to hear.
God, bad. We should just have sex just to like have a
Talk about
review
how
of
bad
it.
we are?
Yeah. We should. Let's have bad sex.
You want to have
Like, I
bad
don't
sex
even
and then
wanna be
immediately
horny.
do the show?
Like, can we please do like a necrophile thing where you just bang me and I'm just like, the whole time?
Sure.
Perfect.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'll
I'm at like a.
I actually might like it better than normal sex. So.
I'm down.
Anyways,
I'm at 30% chub right now.
I'm done with his eyes. So, anyways, do you ever use the feedback you get from these people you interview? So part of it is that you interview intelligent people, and part of it is that you interview. I don't know if I'd call them intelligent. They had sex with you, or whatever.
Exactly.
We'll see when I have a later response or a review. But anyways, do you ever use their feedback and actually use it for future sexual scenarios, or maybe with them or whatever? Do you use their feedback, or are you just like, meh, whatever?
I mean, for sure, especially in the earlier parts of the show when I was younger. I was like 24, 25 years old.
Wait, how old are you now? For
I'm
everybody?
28.
So you've been doing the show like
4 years.
4 or 5
I
years?
just did episode 200 recently, so it's been about 4 years now. Yeah.
So fancy.
Yeah. And so I would hear a lot that was slightly condescending, that I would interrupt people a lot. And also I learned that talking about my Weight Watchers points on a first date isn't exactly a turn on.
Okay.
So these were all things I have incorporated. Like I talk about
Which,
dieting.
by the way, speaking of interrupting, I would think is extremely adorable. If somebody was like, I only have 300 points left, I'd be like, I'm gonna come in your mouth for all 300. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, I thought that was an endearing
It's
thing.
like 50. It's like what, 50 points, like an ejaculation or something?
Oh gosh, no, that's a lot.
It's 25.
That's like twice
It's 25
enough.
calories. Well, for you. I
Oh,
don't
calories
know
or
for me.
points?
Well, I don't know what. Okay, I don't know.
It's
anything
okay.
about
I mean, if you
Watchers.
want, yeah.
We're gonna do the conversion
50
table
points
later.
is like the amount 2 chubby chicks get to eat combined in a day. That's
chubby chicks
yeah.
get to eat combined.
Yes, they let chubby women eat on Weight Watchers. It's crazy. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see.
Do you like to have sex with chubby women?
Sometimes if I'm
Yeah.
attracted to them.
The last episode I listened to of you, you were like, yeah, like all sorts of flavors. And I was like,
I'm a big face guy. Like I'm more attracted to the face and how it also goes with the body. Like there are big women who look great with certain things. Like for example, like I don't know, I've seen women with huge tits who didn't wear them well, so to speak.
Okay.
But you would call them like thin or conventionally attractive, like, or I don't know, I've seen women who like have blonde hair and don't look good with it, but the blonde hair on a bigger woman looks great. I'm a sucker for a great smile. I think that's my number one thing. If you got a great smile, like I can get way into you. So it definitely doesn't, it's not just the body type for me. It's all the factors kind of come into play.
yeah. I'm all about like this. Your T-zone, I'll fuck your T-zone all day. I don't give a shit what the rest of you looks like.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I don't
It
have to
sounds
fuck
like
your
the
dick
same.
to sit on your T-zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Felicia, will you sit on my T-zone?
I will sit on your T-zone.
Okay. Great.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I will probably say it on T-Zone. Probably is being the operative word. So we already talked about the other types of guests you have. So you're kind of forwarding this whole sex positivity thing by also including actually, people with a little value.
Experts.
Not to say that anybody you've had sex with doesn't have value, but just to say that, somebody that isn't just the average run of the mill.
Yeah.
The girl you met on Tinder.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Such a.
Poor girls. Do you actually use your podcast to get laid? That's actually something I wanted to know.
Define use it to get laid.
So, okay, what I'll say is, first of all, are girls intimidated? Like when I swiped you right? I swiped you right on
swiped
Tinder.
right, yeah.
I swiped right on Tinder. I was like, I saw your headshot. I was like, I kind of want to be a stand-up comedian who also talks about sex on a podcast. So I don't know, that's kind of intimidating. Maybe I won't talk to him. However, do you find that helps you? And just say like in general versus hurts you. Is there like one more than the other?
Being a sex podcaster as a profession, I think anytime you are talking openly and honestly about sex in a mature and fun, non-shameful way, I think that opens the door, at least in my experience, I feel like a lot of women have felt more comfortable talking about sex, casual sex, kink. I think that they've felt.
So like an average thing like Tinder. Sorry to interrupt you again, but like an average thing like Tinder, where you would normally
You're acting
be
like
going.
a dude. What?
No, but like an average thing like Tinder, where you would be going on and hooking up. Like, are you finding that you're finding because of who you are online? Are you finding that you're connecting with more people with kinks and fetishes, or versus normies? Or I don't like to use the word normie, but you know what I mean.
I mean, I'm not a very kinky guy myself. I'm fairly vanilla, at least compared to my kinky friends. But I think again that I set this tone of like, hey, if you talk about how much you like having casual sex, God forbid you have casual sex with me, you're probably not getting slut shamed. You're probably not getting looked at weird. I'm not gonna not want to date you because we fucked on the first date. I think it sets the tone of how one can be. I think a lot of people, especially women in this country, like don't feel comfortable being open about their sexuality because there's a lot of violence and stigma and bullshit that y'all got to deal with. And I think we're making a lot of gains in that regards. But I think when you see someone... So by
putting yourself out there, being like, listen, I am the host of a ManWhore podcast. You can go and check it out. It's girls I've slept with. It's girls I haven't slept with, or whoever. I am sex positive. Do you find yourself getting like hit up more?
I think so. I would say like at minimum, you're going like, I'm intrigued.
Right.
Sex podcast, tell me more.
Right. Okay. Which is why you put your ManWhore thing out there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, I couldn't see why you would. I feel like it would be...
For the downloads, clearly.
Well, that too, but also...
I was in San Francisco recently. Someone was like, I'm not comfortable meeting up. I'm not really into casual sex, but I'm going to
listen to your podcast.
She's like, I'll
give you all the Patreon ducats.
Yeah, she said, hey, you got a new subscriber. I was like, if I can't get laid, at least give me some downloads.
Which is my point, too. Like, you might not want to buy my nudes. You might not want to talk to me about sex. You might not want to even follow me online, but... you may gain a little bit of insight from hearing me discuss water sports or something like that, right? It's like it's sort of the same idea.
Are you a squirter?
I'm not a squirter. I'm a pisser. Squirting and piss is the same thing. 86% of the fucking fluid is from your bladder. It comes out of your urethra. I don't want to hear anything different.
Okay.
Well, how do you feel about squirting? Because actually, I wrote that down. I mean, I'll piss on you all day.
I don't know about that.
It's the same fucking fluid.
Not really.
It's the same fluid.
Not really.
80% is the same fluid.
Yeah, is it? Or was that what the Huffington Post article you didn't read said?
No, it's 2% bladder fluid. Now.
Bladder fluid doesn't necessarily mean urine.
No, fair enough. But it's my point is that it's not from your actual vaginal hole. It is from your urethra.
Yeah.
And it builds in your bladder as you are getting to the point.
But it is not urine.
Fine, but it's a mix. Thank you. Anyways, piss play is sick. Who cares? Do you like piss play?
I've never done piss play before.
Oh my God, we have a long night ahead of us. Oh my God. Wait, you've never been peed on? Ever?
Never. I mean, I peed on myself in the shower when I was a kid.
Okay, that's not. As a kid, I pee on myself in the shower every day.
I was curious, like, how high can I make it go? Yeah, but.
Wait, so you've never been peed on?
No.
Oh my God, I feel like We just hit a new ground.
I have no desire to be peed on.
Why is that?
There's just nothing hot about it for me.
Do you like degrading women though?
Do I like degrading?
Yes.
No.
Oh, so you don't want to pee on somebody.
I'll put it this way, like I am a pleaser, so like I will piss on a chick and call her a dirty little slut if that's what she wants me to do, but I gotta be like explicitly asked. I'm not really gonna go out on a limb
so
with
it's not
that
your
one.
thing, but
just on the off chance she likes getting pissed on, let's just piss in her mouth. Call me a freak. I like to ask first.
It's not your thing. However, you're into.
I'm into doing what she's into. I'm really into pleasing. I'm really into just being of good use. Put my body to good use. If that is a piss hose, then that's what I can be for you, Felicia.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm a hole, or several.
I'm a shaft and holes. Yes.
Yeah.
Use any or all of them.
Out. It sounds like we're both too much of a sub.
Too much of a pleaser? Yeah, but I don't know. I've made it work. I've made it work.
We'll see on the next episode.
Well, that's the thing. But that's the thing. I can switch quite well. So it's like if I know someone really does want the guy to take charge, like, oh, I can take charge. But it is a thing I do need to learn about them or pick up on. It's not something
I'm a pleaser in the way that whatever you're into, as long as it's not poop. So let's jump into, because we have so many other things to talk about.
Sure.
Let's jump into dating for you and polyamory. So if you haven't if you haven't listened to his podcast, he talks a lot about polyamory and going through the motions of dating within a polyamoric, I don't know if that's a word. Polyamorous world. Tell me what polyamory is to you. Now, please distinguish the difference between polyamory and, non-monogamy or just an open relationship in general, because there is a huge difference, but it also means something different to every person. So.
Well, we live in a society where no one cares about definitions anymore, so I'll do my best. Non-monogamy is an umbrella term. That describes anything that's not monogamous. That's why I don't buy the monogamish term, because they're like, everything's a spectrum. No, some things fucking aren't. Okay. Sometimes something's a beer and something's a wine. Sometimes if you're not monogamous, you're non-monogamous, and even if you're mostly monogamous and sometimes not, you're still not monogamous. That's just how fucking words work.
So you're saying out of the whole spectrum of the whole being in some flavor of an open relationship.
If you're cheating,
in general.
If you're cheating,
cheating is cheating.
But cheating is non-monogamous. It's not ethical non-monogamy, but it is non-monogamy. Okay. Underneath that, there's all sorts of things. You can be in an open relationship where you fuck other people. There's polyamory where it's about multiple romantic relationships, about multiple.
And is that what you consider yourself?
I have been learning that I may be capable of loving more than one person at the same time. It has not happened for me yet, but that's how I see. That's how I've been discovering things.
When did you open yourself up to just the general
just
non-monogamy?
Yeah. When I was like in my early 20s, I was living here in New York City, having a lot of fun, interesting sex, and meeting a lot of cool people, and I couldn't get any. That's kind of, again, the impetus of the podcast was women wouldn't sleep with me. They would date. They wouldn't date me. They would sleep with me. They would carry on months and months long relationships, basically, where yes, they were sexual, but we'd also go out to the movies, or we were basically dating without calling each other boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
So they were like, oh, I don't like labels, or I want to keep it casual. So that was kind of my foray into knowing I'm not going to be super jealous at the sex part. Okay. Because I was kind of tossed into it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's fine." And then I always learned. Then I was learning like, oh, because I was getting nervous. I was getting jealous of other dudes because maybe they were getting more emotional energy from these partners. Okay. Yes, sexually, I do enjoy being someone's fuck toy, but not when I'm also in love with you and you don't love me. Like, I like being someone's fuck toy like recreationally. And I just like over the years, I've done a lot of non-monogamy. The two girlfriends I've had in my post-college life, we've both been non-monogamous.
Well, what does that mean for you?
Well, I just believe that a relationship is whatever 2 or 3 or 4 or 12 people want that one relationship to be.
So whatever you agree on.
So yeah, just make your rule. You gotta do this really terrifying thing where you have to talk to the person you're dating.
And
I know it's terrible. I know it's a wild idea, but you actually have to
yeah.
communicate and discuss it with them. Fascinating concept, and then you just decide what your rules are. I had a relationship where it was like, okay, we're not dating other people, we can fuck other people. Or let's say you're fluid bonded, so you don't use condoms with your partner, then one of the rules maybe is you're using condoms outside the relationship.
Right.
So people go like, oh, well, you're polyamorous, then there's no such thing as cheating. No, you can cheat if you're poly or non-monogamous. If you break the terms of the relationship, that's cheating. In monogamy, the terms is don't fuck.
So what you're saying is every monogamous relationship is already cut out by society standards, whereas every polyamorous or non-monogamous relationship is cut out by you guys.
Correct. And that's how, and even monogamous couples, you should make your own rules too. Even if the rule is monogamy,
Right, whereas like, okay, you're monogamous, but maybe you're okay with your girl making out with another girl.
Sure.
To me, that's non-monogamous, but to y'all normie asses, that might be a fucking monogamous thing, and that's okay.
Right.
But you need to cut that out so that you know where the line is drawn.
Right, and monogamy should also be a thing that is opted into. So again, that is a thing you should discuss. Like, hey, we just decided we're going to be an official Facebook official relationship. Great. What does that mean? Like, are we monogamous? That should be really the first question.
Right.
Because monogamy is fine. It's a valid option, but it's something you should have chosen, not something you just do by default because society told you to.
Absolutely. I agree with you because I have not been in a officially monogamous relationship for, I think, almost 9-10 years now. And every person that enters into some sort of even just dating with me, they have an issue and they don't know where to start. And I'm just like, let's start at the rules. Let's start at how we feel about the situation. Are you upset when I flirt with a guy? Are you upset when I flirt with a girl? Are you upset? And it's just a matter of building up those terms of where does the line cross? Where is it not okay? Whatever the fucking situation is.
All I heard in all of that was that even if you're dating someone, you're still kind of available. That's That's what I heard. I'm just jotting that down.
I have been non-monogamous in all sorts of flavors since I was, I think, 21 officially.
Okay.
I think it was 21, yes. And it was actually on Barack Obama's inauguration, and I was like, listen.
We miss you!
Oh, I miss you, Barack.
Come back to me!
I'll suck your dick all the day. But anyway, so
just be the president of my life, even if you can't be the president of my country.
It was his first inauguration, and I had the worst day of my life where I broke up with this dude because I was like, listen, I want to suck other dick and ride other dicks, and I want you to be into it. And I thought he was deviant enough to, and then he was like, I'm all set. So then I cried on my way home, and then I had a wonderful last 10 years, or no, 9 years after that. So thank you, Barack, and thank you, that dude, for letting me go, because non-monogamy all the way.
Sure.
And polyamory is one thing. I don't know if I
not for everyone.
I've been in relationships where I had a dude and a broad at the same time, but I've never done like the dude. I don't know if I could handle that.
I mean, you just figure it out.
Dude.
And I also
so emotional.
I also wasn't sure if that was going to be for me, and then I just slowly started to learn that about myself.
Quick question for you.
Quick answer for you. Probably not quick answer.
Do you find yourself to actually look for other polyamorous people? Or are you like, I'm going to take this hot chick and turn her into what I want?
I mean, I'm never trying to turn a person. I just am going to be open about where I'm at. I do, like, I don't want to say target. I will, like, target people who are non-monogamous. Like, if you put ethically non-monogamous or poly in your Tinder bio, do you have a really cool haircut? Do you have a rainbow emoji in your bio? There's a better chance that we're going to click.
How to fuck Billy is basically what he's just giving you.
Those are some of the key things I'll look out for, but it doesn't mean like I just won't try to date anyone else. But also, that's something that comes with me. Like, I'm not going to be in a monogamous relationship.
Oh, I was just going to ask you
So
that. You're not willing. You're unwilling.
That's not something I'm feeling comfortable with today.
So, question, the difference, non-monogamy umbrella term, but let's put it in two categories. Sure. Non-monogamy meaning like there's some rules, but like,
you're the one. You're bae.
There's one, and then there's some people you fuck.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas polyamory is like there might be 2 or 3 or 4. What's your preference? My preference is non-monogamy. I like to be number 1 and 2 and 3 and 7.
I mean, it depends. It just will depend on the situation. It depends on the relationships. Okay, because even when someone's just a fuck buddy, that's still a relationship. That's a fuck buddy relationship that you two have defined, but it's still a relationship. So for me, it just depends, because maybe I run into people I meet people and go like, oh fuck, I really have a legit connection. Like, I don't just want to sleep with this person. Like, I want to go out to dinner and hold hands with them. And then let's say I had a partner where like that wasn't on the table, I would have to go to them and be like, hey, so I hooked up with this person, but fuck, there's a real strong connection. So like, how do you feel about that? Is that something you're open to me exploring? Is that something that makes you uncomfortable?
I feel like it's harder to go back in after.
Well, for example, like if I go on like 1 or 2 dates with someone and I really feel it hard, and I'm not in a polyamorous relationship, but we're not monogamous, I may have to go talk to her and be like, is that okay? Like, how do you feel about that? Because then I might be able to cut that off early enough that I'm not so emotionally invested.
Right.
You know, but if I see it maybe go in that direction, I may have to talk to my partner.
But then maybe you could dabble in just the sexuality part.
Or I can be like, hey, so like my partner's not interested, is not comfortable with, say, us pursuing a romantic relationship. Is that okay with you? How do you feel about kind of like de-escalating this to be like more of a fuck buddy situation? Cool. In order to do that, I may not be able to handle sleepovers, because I'm definitely gonna get really into you.
I'm the same way. Like, you
also
cannot
depends.
sleep over my house if I have any feeling beyond, like, if you're just sleeping there because we just got drunk and fucked, fine. But if I actually have, like, if I want to cuddle you, no, you gotta go.
See, no, I want to stay for those, but again, in this scenario we've concocted where like I can't be romantically involved with someone because that would violate the terms of the relationship, I would maybe say, I would ask them, like, one, are you okay not having a romantic relationship and keeping it sexual? And then two, okay, here's what I need in order to not get emotionally invested. Ultimately, for myself, probably would just avoid that situation and be like, either I can pursue that, or I just am going to cut it off entirely. I'm a very emotional person.
So what you're saying is you don't want to cuddle me later. Because
I might.
You'll fall for me.
We'll have to find out.
I'm totally fucking around.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Silver Bullet Club Corner. This is a segment of my show where I get to tell you about a special sex toy that I've received in the mail, specifically from Athena's. If you guys are interested in purchasing any of these Athena's toys that I review, or maybe not, just checking out their website, be sure to go to AthenasHN/Goddess7840. So look up Goddess7840 online, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever. That's Christina. She's my girl. She'll hook you up with any questions that you have, sex toy questions, etc., etc. So be sure to check her out. So I actually just received a new sex toy in the mail recently. And thank you, Christina, very much, 7840. And this sex toy is called the Rhapsody. Why I received this specific sex toy is because I don't believe that G-spots are a real thing. Sorry, guys. I know that it really kind of sucks that I don't think that G-spots are a real thing, because apparently there's evidence of it out there, although I don't really believe that evidence. But apparently it's something that exists in some females. I am not one of those females that exists within. And here's why. So I told Christina, hey, I have a challenge for you. I don't think I have a G-spot. I don't think they're real. I think Cosmo made them up in like the mid-90s to give women a thing to go find on their own time or whatever it was. So either way, I told her my skepticism and she was like, I got the little toy for you. Now we have the Rhapsody. So I received this in the mail and I was kind of stoked just because I knew that the actual, I want to say quality of it is going to be high. No matter what, I'm going to be able to use this as an actual vibrator in some capacity. However, I was given the challenge to find my G-spot, and that is what I did. But I didn't, because I didn't find my G-spot. This thing hurt so freaking bad. Before I even get into the fact that like it plugs into the wall and it's dope because it has like 7 different, vibration techniques amongst it, it hurt so bad. I literally thought that I was having I don't even know. It felt terrible. It didn't feel like I was peeing. It felt worse than that. It felt like someone was like clamping my insides with like a little clamp thing. So anyways, I'll talk about the good parts of it. The good parts of it are that it is silicone based. Do not use that with a silicone lubricant. If you use silicone with silicone, they fuse together. Don't be stupid. Don't do that. But it is silicone based, so it's nice and smooth. It has that smooth, nice feel to it. The other thing that is also nice is that it obviously has 7 speeds. Let's go over what the names are, because I think that's funny. So we have speed 1, which is also going to light up for you. You might not be able to see it here, but it's called Purple Passion. We have speed 2. I'm gonna go through all these for you. Deepest Blue,
Once again, you might not be able to see it, but they actually do light up, which is very nice. We have Red Rapture Tender Rhapsody. These names always kill me, I'm not gonna lie. Which is, if you hear that, like, we're only at speed 3, guys. That's pretty intense. Okay. Now we have speed 4, which is, I don't know if this is, yeah, I think it's orange. Orange Orgasm Intoxicating Vibes. I'm sorry, but the name of this one is a little too long. I'm not gonna remember that. We have Mellow Yellow Pulsating Paradise, which is, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's sort of a slower, like a build up, like a instead of just like a you know, one of those. I hate vibrators like that, they're the worst. Greatest Green Waves of Delight. There we go. This is the one I don't like. I also don't like this at all. But if you just put it on the outside, it works fine. Oh, and I missed the last one and I can't go through it. So we have Blue Envy Elevating Ecstasy was our last one. Now the cool thing about this, I will say, even though I don't have a G-spot and I think this is absolute bullshit, is that aside from the fact that you plug it into the wall to charge, also the base of this can be used with your strap-on. They made the base specifically so that it can fit inside of a strap-on, which I appreciate and respect. Shout out to Athena's. I think you did a really good job with that whole thing. However, I'm sorry. I am not convinced that I have a G-spot. It only hurt. It felt like somebody was clamping down on me. I felt like I was in the gynecologist's office. So buy it if you want, but I don't got one. Thanks, guys. Have you ever changed a non-poly person? Like, have you ever dated somebody who had absolutely no interest in non-monogamy at any level, and then you were like, get it?
Well, define like dating or like casually fucking, or because I
casually
don't have a
fucking.
lot of
Not
people who date me.
Okay.
Not for nothing. I'm a
So
hard
you're
sell. But you know the.
Do you think people are intimidated? I can't speak, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Do you think people are intimidated by you because of the fact that you have this sex body? Like, do you think that people are like, I'm all set?
I mean, I don't think everyone I come in contact with is intimidated. However, there have been some women who did open up with like, wow, this is kind of intimidating, or, oh, I listened to the podcast and, you know, I don't go to sex parties. I don't know if I'd be wild enough for you. And I don't really need a wild woman in bed. I'm like, all the crazy sex shit I've done or do is like, usually I can take it or leave it. I don't need to go have sex with strangers on Craigslist to like fulfill my sexual destiny.
Which brings me into our other major topic, which is Craigslist. So when I first listened to your podcast, I heard about you know, going to gangbangs. And can I ask you, before we even go into the Craigslist part, do you participate in gangbangs on a regular basis, or is this just something like, whatever you're feeling?
Well, to most people, if you've been to like more than one gangbang, you've been to a lot of gangbangs.
How many a year would you say?
I don't know, fucking not many.
2, 1.
Yeah, maybe like a couple.
Okay. No,
I don't know.
I'm just
No.
asking
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't call it
Not
like
a lot.
I wouldn't call it frequent. But if I told people how many gangbangs I've been to, they would be like, "Wow, that sounds like a lot." And I'm
like when I tell my one gangbang story, dudes are like, yeah.
You had a gangbang?
Well, I had a 5-person.
And why was I not invited?
It was a long time
Long
ago.
time ago? Okay.
I'm old now.
Okay.
I don't know if my holes can do it. I probably could. But like the 2 at once, I've never been a big fan of. Like if you put 2 dicks in my pussy at once and you really get it in there, I'm totally all set with that.
I really want to try that.
I know, it's
I've
so
never gotten to do it
hot.
before.
'Cause
It looks hot.
The thing is like I'll put a dick in me and then I'll take like a toy and shove it in me too. So I'm like, I can take 2 dicks in there.
Yeah.
I don't live really. The amount of skin between your asshole and your cunt, it's just not my favorite flavor. I'm not a big anal fan. I don't know if you are. My cunt is very tight. So to put it in my butt and my cunt at the same time, I'd rather just 2 in my vagina. Anyways.
Okay.
Sorry, we got off topic, but speaking of gangbang.
Sure. Well, just to finish your other question real quick. It's like, so I don't think I've ever turned anyone, but I've definitely been
Thank
some.
you for bringing it back to the original question.
It's okay. I'm a professional.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
I've been people's introduction to either casual sex or some kind of non-monogamy. Again, I haven't had like I've only had 2 girlfriends since college, and they've all been in the last couple years. But people I've like dated or slept with on a regular basis, a lot of them that was like their introduction to ongoing casual sex, where previously they like fucked a guy like 2-3 times and then never again. And I was like, oh no, like I don't want that. If I like having sex with you, I would like to keep having sex with you over a long period of time.
Sex is dope. If you can have good sex with one person,
Keep them, like, or her, or whatever.
I don't care if it's a partner or not.
Yeah.
I don't.
Just hold on to that.
Have your partner and have that one sex, and that's it. And make sure your partner understands you're all set. Like, you don't like them as human. Find somebody that doesn't like the same music as you. That's my tip.
Yeah. So I don't think.
Honestly, who wants to fuck listening to like fucking From Autumn to Ashes when you listen to like Bad Brains normally? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I don't think I turned anyone as much as like I've introduced them to the concept.
Okay.
But now back to gangbangs, right?
Well, no. Like, I've had polyamorous relationships where I had a boyfriend already, and then I dated a girl, and she was like, I'm a lesbian. I just want to date you, and I'm like, I don't.
It's like, but she could just date you.
But she wasn't threatened by me dating a dude. Whereas if I had fucked another girl, she would fucking murder me in my sleep. She was cuckoo
but
too.
those are
Hey, hope you're watching.
But those are terms y'all could set. Y'all could make.
We did.
Yeah.
We 100%
Where it's like, okay,
did.
you can fuck all the dudes,
Whenever
whenever
I was with a dude or my boyfriend at the time, my partner, whatever, she was fine with it. If I was even at a gay club, no bueno. She was a psycho loony. But I get it. I don't want a girl I'm banging to bone other people aside from dudes. Cause like I just want this mouth on that. I get it. Do you get it? No, I don't know.
I don't.
As a girl that fucks girls, I get it. But as a girl that fucks girls, I don't give a fuck. Put your dick in whatever the fuck you want. Don't come back with an STD and holler at me in the morning because I'm fucking hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring me a fucking bacon, egg, and cheese, and I literally don't care what you did in the last 12 hours.
Okay.
I'm so easy.
Are you?
I don't know.
I tried to sleep with you for 3 years.
Did you really try, though?
I like periodically would check in.
It takes like 3 fucking compliments for me to sit on a dick, so I think you didn't do a very good job.
All right, your makeup's very nice. The tattoos look hot.
Ooh, yes.
And them titties.
You don't even know what my nipples look like yet.
Not yet.
You didn't Google my tits?
Was I supposed to? I didn't know that this appearance came with homework.
I don't know. Not this one. I just would assume anybody that knows my name would Google my titties, you know?
Nah.
They're Googleable titties.
Googleable titties? That's cool. I've got Googleable dick.
G money in the back. You have Googleable dick?
Yeah.
Really? I can Google Billy Procida cock.
Well, I don't know what the search terms you need for it, but there's pictures of me from like body painting days where I've been like fully nude in public. And then there was the one
Mine are like leaked nudes on
well,
Reddit.
Those are nude. That's me being fully naked in public with my dick out getting painted. And then there's also the one porno.
So I get to see how little your weenie is?
Yeah, and then there's
Wait.
also the.
Question, are you a shower or a grower? Because everybody wants to know.
What does that mean?
Because you're sitting here, are you a shower or a grower? Do you show it before you grow it, or is it already there?
What, like, as in, like, are all the inches there before the blood's in?
Right.
Oh, no.
All right, a couple questions I want to ask you. I do want to know a little bit about your background. Specifically, when did you become a pervert? Like, when did you decide I'm a fucking... But outwardly, not just like, hey, I'm a dude that likes sex. Everybody likes sex, duh. But when did you decide you were going to be vocal about it?
Oh man, the asexual erasure over here. Everyone tweet at her. No, it's. I started checking shit out. I went to college here in New York City. I went to NYU. So.
Wait, where'd you grow up?
North Jersey, but I went to boarding school in Connecticut. Yeah,
Close
it's
enough.
whatever. I'm a tri-state baby.
You're tri-state. You have a little progressiveness. Yep.
Yeah, and so my sophomore year of college, I became no longer in a relationship. So I was like, I'm gonna just try it all. My motto was like, I'll try everything twice, because you may fuck up the first time. And so I was like, let me just go try shit. So I found myself on Craigslist at 19.
Do you identify as gay, straight?
I identify
queer?
as straight.
Okay.
I mean, I identify,
Continue.
honestly, I identify most as a lesbian with a penis, but apparently I'm not allowed.
I find myself to be a male to female pre-op transgender man. So I understand.
So no, I started just poking around and like I was finding stuff on Craigslist, or I think I had a FetLife profile for like 3 weeks or something. And I was just like, let's go just try shit. So it wasn't much finding out I'm a pervert or something, but it was just like, let me just go do stuff.
When did you lose your virginity?
18. The summer after high school.
To who? Just some random?
This woman, I got set up. I was a loser, for a very long time. Half of my life I've been a loser, and like 2/3 of life I've been a loser, and the other third has been, pretty cool.
Okay.
I got matched up with someone from like my boarding school. A friend of the chick from my boarding school matched me up with some random chick at home, her friend, who she's like, yeah, no, she fucks everybody, so she'll surely fuck you. And then like a year and a half later, she invited me to a party in like Connecticut, and I drove 2 hours to go have sex with this stranger. And I didn't want to, because I was still a virgin, I was dating someone else. That I thought was going to get serious. So I thought, I would like to lose my virginity to her. But like, yes, I would like to go to the party and do stuff with you. And so I was like, I don't really want to have sex tonight. And she's like, cool, I'll go get a condom. I was like, and so then we ended up having sex that I wasn't like thrilled about.
And that's how you lost your virginity?
Yeah. I kind of got tossed a condom. I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this.
Did you make up for it after? Did you like have like a good story after to like make up for your virginity loss?
Oh, like when the
when
next person I had sex with?
I had a shitty.
Yeah, because like about a month or so later, I took the virginity of the person I was trying to save it for, and it was like a really beautiful night, and it was nice. And,
that's really sweet.
I'm a sweetheart.
You sort of had your virginity makeup sex.
A little bit, yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
So you identify as straight. When did you come out as straight? Because I truly believe that if you can come out as gay, you can come out as straight.
You could, but this, no one seems to require.
When did you identify? When were you
the first time I had
I'm like a vagina.
The first time I had to clarify that I was straight was like probably at a very queer sex party where people were like, we're not sure, and like this is an environment where you could be into anyone. And I was like, I'm the lame one because I don't like cock in my mouth.
Have you ever been questioned outside of a party where nobody wants to assume things or anything?
Yeah, one time I told someone I corrected someone's pronouns for Caitlyn Jenner, and he called me a faggot. So I think that was him accusing me of being gay. Or he was just insulting me.
Or he's just a piece of crap, sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that person.
Caitlyn is a beautiful woman who also won a lot of gold medals.
Aside from your actually virginity loss, was there a moment where you're like, I'm a little bit of a deviant? Because you're not, by society standards.
Yeah, the first time I logged on the fucking Craigslist, I was like, oh man, I guess this is a life I'm gonna live.
When was that? What age?
That was 19. That was sophomore year of college. Because I was like, well, I'm in New York City. Like, let's go take a look. And there's a lot.
What did you find on Craigslist that you were like, this intrigues me, even if I have never done it or know if it's a paraphilia or fetish? Like, what was it that you were like, this is the thing?
I mean, at the beginning, it was nothing crazy. It was just like meeting other people. I mean, in New York City, Craigslist is full of a lot of like sex workers and bots in the personal section. But like, I would happen to find real women who were not charging, and I would like meet up with some of them and do stuff, which was like fun. I mean, nothing crazy. And just like as the years went by, I would notice like, oh, what happened was I started searching around junior, senior year, I started searching for like couples looking for a single man, couples looking for multiple men, and women looking for multiple men. Okay. So like MW for M and shit like that. I realized I did the math in my head. I was like, oh, everyone's answering, all the guys are answering the W for M ads. And a lot of the W for M ads are fake, and there's also less of them. But I did the math. I was like, oh, if I am okay with at least one other penis being in the room at the time, I can answer all these other ads that not as many people answer and increase my likelihood of getting my dick sucked.
Like the gangbang ads?
Like gangbangs, okay. Or a couple looking for a third, or someone like looking for a voyeur.
So not to interrupt you again, but just to say, that's one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about is you often discuss on your podcast, I go on Craigslist and then I go to either a gangbang or I'm like recently I heard you were like a peeping Tom on a Craigslist ad for like a couple, which was super hot to me, by the way, which I never think to do. I never think to be like, oh, I'm in the mood for this specific fetish or paraphilia. Let me go on to Craigslist and you know, execute it in a safe and healthy way with people who are actually participating. So, you know, I know this is a vague question, but could you tell me a little bit about what that's like? You know, have you ever had a bad experience? Are you know, have you ever gone to a gangbang and been like, I need to get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, I've gone to a gangbang and the chick never showed up.
So what did you do? Just like it was a big circle jerk, or
basically until I gave up and was like, yeah, I don't think she's coming, and I went and got dressed and left.
Anything else? Any other?
I mean, I think that was like the worst one.
Okay.
There's one that like it's not the worst. It's just a funny situation for me because it was actually my first experience with anything remotely close to that. Was I answered a Craigslist ad for there was a couple and they were gonna do a bukkake in a public place.
Okay.
I was like, cool, I can do that. And it ended up being like a subway stairwell in like Brooklyn and like by the 1 train when no one was gonna be there on like Tuesday night at 2 a.m. So I was like, okay, and I go and I meet and it ends up like all the guys that bailed, but it was just me and this couple and I meet and the woman's very demure and like halfway through the blowjob, like I realized it was a trans woman. And at the time I was 22, so this was like I am very different now, but when I was 22,
well,
you know,
let me stop you right there. No matter what, you should always be 100% in the know of whatever's going on.
Well, I was in the know. The ad was getting my dick sucked by a woman in like a public place with other dicks around. That is what happened. The boyfriend's dick was there.
No, you're
it was
right.
a woman, and I got my dick sucked.
By definition,
Yeah.
You're right. But as a 22-year-old, I could see where
Yes,
you'd be like,
exactly. As a
this
22-year-old,
is not meeting my expectations.
Yes, as
right.
a way more ignorant 22-year-old who had like never even thought about that or had been with trans women and who also had like probably different attitudes towards everything.
You were underprepared.
Yeah. So, but like I didn't freak out. I just like I laughed and I quietly walked away. I said, "Oh, actually, you know what? No thanks." And then I walked away. I called someone a fuck buddy of mine. I was like, "Hey, you won't believe what just happened." Other situations that went bad, most of them go pretty well.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of bad experiences. You know, the worst thing that happens is like you show up and like they're not there or people flake.
How often do you do this, by the way?
As often as someone like answers an ad and I
Is
see
this
an
like-
ad, I
Is
look
this
around.
a fetish of yours?
No, it's just like it's a way to find fun sex I can't get at a bar.
Okay. So that's what
normally
you're looking for is the
people,
sex, not the Craigslist experience.
Well, I'm more looking for experiences, and Craigslist and Reddit are great places to find different experiences.
Okay.
They usually don't recruit gangbangs at the bar, but if you know of a bar that does do that, like
Call
I'm
us
in.
both.
Or like let's have a speed
Because
dating
we're
event.
like sister, brother, fake porn. So. Let me ask you real quick. So you also do stand-up comedy.
Correct.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy or sex podcast? And do you think that do you not take some of your podcasting as seriously because you're a stand-up comic, or is it just that you're funny in general and so fuck it?
I started doing stand-up in college, so the stand-up actually came first. I've been doing comedy for, long enough I should be funnier by now. So I've been doing stand-up comedy a long time. I've been doing the podcast 4 years, or just shy of 4 years. I don't know when this comes out. So I've been doing that for about half the time. And I wouldn't say I would say the stand-up actually took a little bit more of a back burner as the podcast was getting better, was becoming a little more successful. When I started doing, say, like bonus episodes, when it started becoming more of a thing, I had to put more energy into it because not for nothing, that's the ball that was rolling. And so I still do stand-up, but I definitely don't do it as often as I prefer to.
When you mean more energy, do you have a job right now?
I'm a little over a year self-employed.
So podcast is
the main source of income.
Nice.
Please buy my shirt.
I honestly want to buy this. He should just give me one for free. No, honestly though, podcast.
Yeah, podcasting is the
main.
main. That's the main gig.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I want to give you a little. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see where.
Yeah.
we
So
do later.
comedy came first, and then the podcast. But now the podcast gets more of the focus. But I still do stand up. I still, you can go to my website manwhorepod.com. You can see my show dates. When I'm performing in places.
Which is actually what I wanted to. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, but I wanted to ask you. Plug yourself. Tell us where to watch you, where to listen to you, where to whatever with you. How do
where
we
to have
fuck
sex
you?
with me? How do we fuck me?
No, honestly, I think.
Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, also, is squirting piss was a question, but we already went over that. So how do you plug yourself?
Okay. If you want to have sex with me, just DM me on Twitter or email me at manwhorepod@gmail.com. It's always worth a pitch We'll see if it can happen. Usually we can share a sexual space at minimum, I can imagine, even if we're not gonna fuck, because just hooking up doesn't have to just be fucking. Okay, please go check out my podcast. It's called the ManWhore Podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcast, Spotify. It's actually on YouTube technically. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just search ManWhore, and that's me. And I would love it if you go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at the Billy Procida. That's Procida. And give me a follow. Give me a little shout out. To tweet at both of us. Let us know what you thought about this whole thing.
Should we have sex? Let us know.
Yes, we should put it out as a Twitter poll.
Oh my God. Yes.
We should put out.
Should we fuck? Yes or no?
I think we should make it a little more complicated. We should expand the option. Just be like, should we fuck? Should we do the orals? Should we just jerk off with each other sadly? Or should we just do nothing?
I would love to jerk off sadly at least with you.
If we put,
Can we jerk off sadly tonight?
If we put out a Twitter poll, would you do whatever the answer was?
Yes, of course.
Okay, we might.
I'm a great sport.
We might do this. So you should follow me at the Billy Procida to chime in. All right.
Chime in. Let us know what we should do with our genitals. Should we bump uglies or
should we bump our own uglies sitting next to each other?
Yeah, we'll just come all over this.
I mean, I just got like a 30% chub, so
I have like 66. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for our next little segment where I torture my good friend Billy and we do a little adult never have I ever. Stick around. It's totally going to be worth the wait. Hey everybody, it's Felicia Rose here with Billy again.
Hi.
Thank you for coming back for more.
Yeah, let's do more.
So real quick, we're gonna go over adult never have I ever, because why the fuck not? We're going to see who wins and actually compete against who's the biggest whore.
Yeah.
So put up 10 fingers. And to make this fair, because I know more about you than probably you know about me, I had people in the studio today write some never have I ever questions about things that they haven't done. And we'll see who's the bigger whore. So let's.
I want to be the biggest whore.
Yeah,
I do.
I do too, but I don't think I'm going to be. All right, so I really don't.
Wow.
Let's go. Start with number one.
Never have I ever participated in a gangbang.
Okay. Both of us out first right away.
We're
Okay.
already done.
Never have I ever been skydiving.
I guess that's an adulty thing to do.
Never have I ever felched using a straw. Is that how you say it? Felched?
Felched?
Felched is the word, and no me gusta.
Ooh.
Do you even know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no bueno. None of us have felched, thank fucking God. With a straw, at least. I mean, I've sucked cum out of a butt, but definitely not with a straw.
Never have I ever been roller skating.
Okay.
I've never been roller skating. Isn't that fucking weird?
What kind of childhood did you have? I think
really fucked up
I
one
think I
over
found
here.
out why you're like this.
Never have I ever fucked an elderly person.
How old? What's the age?
Elderly would be 65
Oh,
plus.
no.
No. No, thank you. No, I think 65 is like when you get the discount at like Denny's.
Yeah, but that's not retirement.
Well, I still haven't fucked a 55-year-old on my own side.
Never have I ever given a foot job. Never have I ever fisted a woman.
Oh, shit.
Never have I ever eaten a hairy asshole.
Ooh, unfortunately.
I keep that shit shaved, baby,
But
every day.
That's your asshole. Have you eaten a hairy butt?
Oh, I don't eat butt.
Oh. There goes one hand.
Never have I ever fisted a man.
Atta girl.
Never have I ever swallowed a pea.
Wait, hold on. This is hard with a blunt in your hand. Yo, yellow pea, popcorn. No
Yeah,
bacon
you can
stuff.
do it like this, you know?
I got you. I got 3 fingers left, so
Okay.
there you go.
Never have I ever been fisted.
No, I haven't. It's
So like
hard.
it was only 4 fingers. He couldn't get that. Couldn't seem to slide that,
that
thumb in there.
knuckle. No, once you get that, the thumb knuckle's hard.
Never have I ever fucked someone more than twice my own age.
Hold on. Can I just do math for a second?
I've never.
At the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, of course you did. So what are you at, 5?
I'm at 6.
You're. Oh damn. What the fuck?
We said skydive.
I can't. Fuck you. You said roller skating. You put a finger down.
This is your game.
They wrote this. I didn't write this shit.
Never have I ever worn a chastity belt.
I don't like that shit.
Never have I ever eaten cereal with orange juice instead of milk.
I know. I know we're in Brooklyn, but what the fuck?
I'm poor, but I just eat that shit dry. I'm all set. No.
Never have I ever had sex for an audience.
Yeah, I definitely did that.
Of course you did.
I love doing that. That's fun.
I hope the next ones get you out. Are you kidding me right now?
Never have I ever eaten out of the garbage.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mom.
Are you kidding
I'm sorry.
me right now? How are you a bigger whore? How am I a bigger whore than you? Well, this is ridiculous.
I mean, never have I ever smoked weed during sex.
I'm not putting my finger down for this. Go on to
That's
this.
a dumb one.
Never have I ever used Viagra for sex.
No.
You
I'm
haven't?
28.
No, I haven't either. I'm 30.
If I can't get hard, we're just not gonna have hard penis sex. I'm just gonna finger the fuck at you and eat your pussy.
Bump uglies.
Never have I ever paid a cam girl.
Yeah. I've also been the cam girl. Not
I
for
have
nothing.
been the cam girl too.
Hey, yeah.
Never have I ever used Craigslist for sex.
Okay, this feels targeted.
Finally!
This feels targeted.
No.
Never have I ever pegged a man.
Yeah!
Fuck you.
I had 2 fingers left.
You are a
Nice
bigger
work.
whore. Congratulations.
You're the bigger whore.
Damn.
I mean, I'm the bigger whore.
Can we use toes too? Because this shit gets better.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Toes.
I mean, just read them off. I'm not conceding.
Just read them off.
And let's see. Yeah.
All right, bonus round.
What we got?
Bonus round.
Read your favorites.
Never have I ever made a porn tape.
I have, yeah. We're talking professionally done or like amateur?
Amateur.
I've done both then.
Oh.
Never
Excuse
have I
me.
ever sold a porn tape.
No.
I have. I'm already 2 fingers down.
Never have I ever sat on a woman's face.
Yeah,
Of
I
course
put
you
down.
have. Okay.
Sat down, let her eat that booty.
Oh. Never have I ever used sex for a place to stay.
Oh, I'm gonna count it because I'm gonna count it because I used sex for air conditioning because I didn't have air conditioning because I was poor, and she did, and I wanted to stop sleeping with her, but I was like, oh, it's like 101 degrees. I'll fuck her one more time so I can stay in the AC.
I have an AC.
Good to know.
Never have I ever participated in autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oof, deaf.
That's my favorite pastime.
Never have I ever fucked more than 5 people in one day. I'm all out of order now. Never
How
have
did
I
I
ever
lose
left the
twice?
country.
What?
Left
You
the
ever left
country.
No, I mean, yeah. Okay.
I haven't.
cool.
Never have I ever
Go
masturbated
explore.
in public.
Definitely.
Never have I ever been watched masturbating.
Oh, yeah, I used to get paid for it.
Oh my God, we're both back at 3.
Hey.
Nice job. Let's see who's the biggest whore. I feel like this is the bonus round.
I mean,
Just make up shit. Who cares?
oh. No, just go
Never
with the...
have I ever used period blood to paint.
Wow, you're such an artist. It's a very Bushwick
Can
answer.
is it paint a phase? Like
I don't
painted
want
face.
to know what you were painting with your juices.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of The Screw on Much Obliged TV. Be sure to tune in for next time. We're going to go ahead and talk about lots of other dirty things. Be sure to like and subscribe and do all that other shit you're supposed to do. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram and buy my nudes. What's up?